Thanks for tuning in to the Roast with Friends podcast. It's your boy JayMan. I'm joined again with the homies. Damn, must be drunk right now. I don't know why I almost said Samson. That's not even close, but
Samson.
Talk to Samson.
I need Samson.
Yeah, sex with my mama.
I had to get a backiotomy.
Samson, call Sheila. Mama fell. Shut up, bitch.
Shut up, bitch.
My bad, y'all. That was very extremely unprofessional of me. I hope this isn't the first episode you've ever listened to of the Roast with Friends podcast. We normally don't start stuff off like that. Well, I'm not editing this out. I'm keeping it. So shout out to the homie Samson, aka Lamar. You're back again. And as you can see, the homie Matt's here again. So thanks for helping me out again, guys. Last episode we did was talked about some anime you can start off with if you're brand new to the genre. So go back and listen to that episode if you haven't. We also talked about some underrated anime. Some of them even would be good to watch for as a first-time anime as well. So check that out. But without further ado, today we're going to be doing the greatest anime of all time draft. Really excited for this. I had to save a couple picks that I thought about saying, but I didn't want to, have somebody snipe me. So we normally have the guests go first. So since Matt is technically more of a guest than Lamar, since Lamar's been on here before with the episode 10, the Black Author Experience. So Matt, do you know what a snake draft is?
I do.
Okay.
I play fantasy
so,
as well.
Perfect. So do I. So there's some strategically planning things you can do by taking the second or third pick, but if you want the first pick, it's also yours. So we're going to let you pick your draft spot.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and take third.
Okay.
So I can get my back-to-backs, because I have a feeling I'm not going to get sniped on that first pick.
Okay. And then Lamar, what you want, number one or number two?
I'll take two.
Two? Oh, damn. It's starting off with me.
Okay.
I'll take
All
two.
right.
I was got the strategy going already. All right.
Lamar must have been watching the other episode. My shit's all fucked up. Now I had two ready to go back to
I know
back.
you like the three.
Yeah, I love that three spot. Man. Oh, man. This is...
It's tough.
I was going to have to let this one go, or it was going to be my first pick. So I guess now it has to be my first pick. I got to go with Full Alchemist Brotherhood for the number one pick in the draft. We talked about it on the last episode. So many layers to that story, so many different arcs. There's people that you forgot about, episode 3, and then they talking about like they know this nigga, and I'm like, oh yeah, he was on for one scene in episode 3, and now he's back. And then there's some characters you hate, and you hate them, and you want them to die, and then they do this thing that I hate sometimes, which is called character development, and the person learns and grows, and you begrudgingly learn to love this nigga that you wanted to die for what he did to the people you love. And man, the action sequences, the villains, even towards the very end, you're like, man, who the fuck is the main villain? Like, I don't know what the hell is going on. But man, it's masterpiece. It has parts of Dragon Ball Z, the great parts without the terrible pacing and all the talking. Now they do some talking, y'all, but it needs to be said. It's that type of show. There's no bad episodes. It's one really long story. It's not like one season passes and then like the new season they're doing something completely different. It's just one long story that all connects to each other. And the main characters are amazing. Side characters that help the main characters are amazing. Villains are amazing. Man, that's all I can say about that without spoiling too much.
I'll say this: if you never watched it, don't just type in Full Metal Alchemist. You got to type in that Brotherhood.
Yeah.
That's important.
I haven't seen the other one. I heard it's good too, but
I do believe they started it before the manga finished, so they kind of just
they winged it at the end.
Yeah, they just had to kind of do their own thing. I'm number 2. So if you watch anime, it's a cliche pick, but I gotta go with Cowboy Bebop. It's hands down my favorite anime from the characters. Everybody is fully developed. It's a really grounded anime with a great story. It's dark at times. And honest, it has the best soundtrack of any anime I've ever seen because I just love jazz. I just love blues. I love that whole genre. So like I love Cowboy Bebop.
One, let's jam.
Exactly. Yeah, man. Woo! Woo, that intro. Just
when it comes in, yes, I feel you.
You know, so it's just everything. I watched it during a time where I was just so young. I was only really exposed to Dragon Ball Z, Tenchi Muyon, Inuyasha, like animes like that. So to see this narrative-driven story, oh my goodness, like I was obsessed. Like that anime, essentially, I say it was like my anime puberty. Like I think that anime did things to me that I didn't know what anime could do, and it's just to this day it still stands out. So I would say Cowboy.
It wasn't the doll where the anime touched you.
Yeah, no, it's one of those. No, it was tasteful side boob.
I just gotta say,
tastefully side boob.
I saw it and was like, okay, I like this.
And I just gotta say real quick, I don't know if you guys agree with me because I actually didn't watch this anime until recently, and I really did enjoy it. But would you guys say, or maybe it's vice versa, that there's some Guardians of the Galaxy vibes from that show, or was it just me?
No, Guardians of the Galaxy definitely aped a lot from Cowboy Bebop. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I figured because I'm watching it and it's like not like spot on, just like, hey, it's kind of similar. Like
they definitely tried to make Peter Quill, who in the comics is a little bit different of a character, be a little bit more like Spike Spiegel. So yeah, no,
that's really interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, right. I didn't.
All right.
Yeah. All right, it's time for my back
number
picks.
3.
I could really do some damage right now.
Birdman.
I could Birdman this right now. Do some damage.
Hold on. I want to do a retry. This nigga's rubbing
He's like, wait. Let's veto it. He helped number.
Yeah, the way he's rubbing them hands got me worried right now.
I mean,
I like it a bit.
So I'm gonna do one. Well, there's one I could pick that I mentioned in the previous episode as my favorite. That I'm gonna save it for later because I know you're gonna pick it. So I'm gonna go with this one first. All of Gundam.
Okay.
Gundam's mine.
Okay.
I'm talking about consistent.
I like how he said all of Gundam.
Yeah, because
I was like, can he do
ain't
that?
Getting no side stories or nothing. I'm getting all of it.
All of it, because I'm talking.
Nigga, you don't get me Gundam. You don't get me Gundam.
Wing, because I know all you Toonami fans loved Wing. Y'all grew up with Wing. Like I'm on all of them, even though I hate Armoro and Char is that man. But I'm all Gundam. Gundam's my first one. I think when you talk about mecha and just giant robots in general and in media, there is a place that Gundam has that nothing else does. They do these presentations of giant robot fights, but they're talking about conflict and war that we've gone through. You look at HMS Team, it's basically just a retelling of the Vietnam War. You look at other ones, like you get these very realistic stuff put into an anime that makes you just stop and think for a minute without getting ridiculous. Like somehow giant robots are the least ridiculous thing about Gundam. And I like the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, and it's one of the tropes of Gundam, is that somebody is trying to drop a colony on Earth, onto the Earth.
Yeah.
That every single Gundam series deals with this at some point.
They do, yeah.
Including the new one, which shout out to Witch from Mercury because it's really good as well. But they all deal with this, and that's like the most ridiculous thing. And the giant robots are not ridiculous. I love the designs for all the robots. They all have this very classic samurai aesthetic, just modernized with, like I said, with robots. There's always some discussion of why are there sides and borders. There's doesn't matter which series you get into, even some of the bad series do a really great job of presenting things, even if they're series I don't necessarily like. So I'm taking all of Gundam. On my back-to-back for Gundam.
I'm just laughing at this. He came ready.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna take Mr. Spirit Gun himself. Yu Yu Hakusho.
Ah shit!
Yeah.
You were not getting.
That's
Yeah,
who
I knew
was
it.
gonna get
I
on my
knew
back
it.
to back.
I knew
Look, I gotta get Yu Yu Hakusho.
This sneaky
Number
ass
one,
nigga Matt, man.
it's
I
a
don't
great,
know him
it's
like
a great
that.
series.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, sneaky as hell.
I'm sorry I invited him. My bad.
I knew when I saw this nigga rubbing his hands like
Like,
this. I'm
you-
like, oh man, what's
Yeah.
gonna
He was
happen?
missing a lick, like licking his lips. He was
Listen.
Damn.
I can't let that just hang out there. I expected Lamar to grab Yu Yu Hakusho, so I had Cowboy Bebop ready. He grabbed Cowboy
That's
Bebop.
why I
I
didn't
was like,
mention anything
perfect.
before.
like, hey, I already know what this is. So
Man, my whole draft is fucked up now. I thought for sure I was getting that one. I was like, they ain't gonna pick this one in the
we gotta
first
have
round,
that.
but I am. But nope.
It's not
It's
even one of
it's
my-
a good second round.
It's like
It's
my
a good
top
second
10.
round.
It's not even my top
Perfect in the
5, but
second
I had to
round,
get
yeah.
that. Oh yeah, I'm not letting y'all have that. Come on now.
Damn. All right, you gotta give a little bit of a
So
feel on why
Hakusho-
you love it.
So one of the things, one, the music is actually amazing for that as well. Like Cowboy Bebop has great jazz. This just has great music in general. It's one of those things like Dragon Ball Z has always had, Dragon Ball series as a franchise has always had tournament stuff in it. I really feel like Yu Yu Hakusho kind of perfected the tournament arc. I've always felt like it knows the balance better than basically everyone else. Like it knows when to have the comedic moment without being creepy. It knows when to get very serious. It knows when to pull the horror elements out. And I don't really care when you come across it, you're gonna watch it all. It's one of those ones that you just can't put it down. It's like a good TV series now with live action. You're gonna run across it, and when you do, all right, one more episode. All right, one more. Man, it's 4:00 in the morning. One more episode. Okay, just like one more. I know the sun's coming up. Let me just watch this one last one, and I'll go sleep. It's great like that. And so
that was literally me.
I loved it. Yeah, here's the crazy part. It's in my top 10, not my top 5, but I have so much respect for it beyond its actual like quality level that I had to pick it. It was it's one of those you had to do.
I ain't mad at it. I just watched that show maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Like I said, I go on Reddit sometimes and on the anime forums and look for shit. And then I just seen somebody just say the craziest shit. They're like, what did they say? They said something about like it was the Dragon Ball Super post, and like it was around the time the tournament arc was going on. It's funny how you mentioned the tournament arc and Yu Yu Hakusho, but when the tournament arc was going on in Super, somebody had commented, they're like, this isn't even like top 5 tournament. He's like, the best tournament is Yu Yu Hakusho, and it got all these upvotes. People are like, yeah, it was better than Dragon Ball Z even to this day. And then like I see all these comments like agreeing, all these upvotes. I'm like, wait, what am I missing? I've never heard of this anime. There's like hundreds of people. Like the comment had like 300 likes. I'm like, okay, 300 people are agreeing that Yu Yu Hakusho is better than Dragon Ball Z.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, I gotta check this show out. I watched the first episode and I was kind of like, okay, that was all right. And then the second one, and then the third, and it just after the third or fourth, I forget when exactly, but it caught me and I never put it down. That was me. You're talking about, all right, one more episode, 3 in the morning, or one more episode, 4 in the morning. And that's how I rate how good anime is with me personally. When that 22-minute episode is like that. Yeah. Like that doesn't happen often for me. Like even anime I really like I'm like, oh, it's probably been about 10, 15 minutes and it'll be over in like 5. Like with Yu Yu Hakusho is like, wait, the credits are rolling. Like, god damn. Like that was 20 minutes already. And then like it was a perfect balance because they had training sequences that weren't too long, getting new abilities, the fucking spirit gun. And man, after I watched it, like me personally, like maybe it's the kid in me, the nostalgia, but I still have Dragon Ball Z higher. But I understand 100%. Like I'm not going to argue anybody who says Yu Yu Hakusho is better than Dragon Ball Z. In a lot of ways, it is.
And now you understand the Blake Griffin memes because they used to use Kuwabara. Like, why does this dude in anime look like Blake Griffin?
That dude look like Blake. What the fuck?
They do look alike. That's the crazy part.
You do.
I mean, Blake Griffin was whipping ass in that Yu Yu Hakusho though.
He was. That was my dude. To this day, me and my sister still call each other Kuwabara. Like nice. We call each other. But it's at least for me when Yu Yu Hakusho came out. From how I remember Toonami, because we're a little bit older. So if you younger listen to this, it wasn't just shit you could just hop on and watch things. Like it was, but it wasn't like readily available. No. So a lot of it we just had to catch when it came on TV, specifically Toonami. And I know they premiered they got to a certain part, and I think when they got to that dark tournament, it stopped premiering on like Toonami like early in the day. That shit came on like at 4:00 in the morning.
Wow.
So like I remember me and my sister was like, yo, what happened to Yu Yu Hakusho? And we looked it up and was like, oh, they still playing it. So we would stay up. We would try to stay up till 4:00 in the morning. We couldn't because our mom would beat our ass. But like, so we just had to set the timer on the VCR to record it. And we never knew. So a lot of that we missed because we didn't even think the rest of the series came out here. But when I rewatched it, I was like, this is a more concise story than Dragon Ball Z. Like you mentioned,
definitely.
Like Dragon Ball Z's biggest, it got a lot of issues, but one of its biggest issues is its pacing is atrocious. Like it really does. Like, this fight is 5 minutes. This world about to blow up, and you 30 episodes in. It's like these niggas is still fighting. Like,
I'm just saying, how does an alien who's never been to Earth know how long 5 minutes is?
This is true. Their measurement and let's just say, before I get into my pick, Frieza is the most racist motherfucker I ever seen. He called him monkeys.
Stupid monkeys.
Oh. But anyway, I think it's me, right? Because you did your one.
Yep.
Damn. I think I'm gonna just get off the board because I do love it. We mentioned this is Monster for all of the reasons.
Okay.
JayMan mentioned. Like for me, as I get older, I realize like a lot of I like a good think piece of a series. Like if it's a lot of fighting and stuff like that. Man, he entered blue mode and he's now his power is times 10. Like none of that is cool, but like I really like more like pulled back stories. And this it's to me, I think it's one of the greatest stories ever told in an anime. And this is one of the greatest stories I've just ever seen because like JayMan mentioned, it's very layered, it's very deep, it's very emotional. It calls back, and I don't want to say the big I don't know if it's a twist, but essentially a doctor saves these two twins' life, and then the story follows that doctor after he was like accused of murder. And just when you find out who did it and you find out this everything, I was like, okay, you got me. And when y'all talk about like Yu Yu Hakusho, where it was like you watch an episode and you're like, I want to watch the other one. That was the Monster. Like I remember looking up from the computer, and like my eyes were like bloodshot red. I didn't eat. I was like, I just need to get to a good stopping point. And I was like, it's no good stopping point. This ain't Dragon Ball Z. This is not One Piece. Like every episode got you. So for me, it's Monster is definitely up there for me. So that's my number 2.
Great pick. That was definitely on my list. You guys have butchered my top 5.
I blame Matt.
My goodness.
I have come
you guys butchered my strategy and my top 5. So I came
Lamar
into
knows
this.
I am the Ruthless Wonder, not a Ruthless Wonder. He should have known this was coming.
I'm gonna give you his nickname. Yeah, my bad.
Because there's a couple ones I was like, no, I know I can get these in the 4th and 5th round. So I was kind of saving them, and now they're at the top of my list because this kind of stuff y'all got going on. Man. So at this point, it's coming down to personal preference. Like,
for sure.
Go for it.
So fuck it. I gotta go with Attack on Titan with my 2nd round pick. A big fan of this show. I watched the first episode, and man, I've never seen anything like that. It was fucking ugly and weird. A big ass fucking monster destroying a whole fucking town. And when you get to the end of the first season, it's just so interesting. There's so much action, so much storytelling, so many amazing characters. You get to the end of the first season, you still don't know what the hell is going on. and they don't really reveal too much at that point. And then you get to the second season, and it's still very interesting. I'm not saying it's slow or anything. It's just they give you very, very small pieces of what's happening, and you start to wonder at the end of season 2, something amazing happens at the end, but you still don't know why it happened or what the fuck is going on still. And then you're sitting there like, fuck, I'm like 2 seasons in on this show. Like I can't stop watching. The story's so good. And then like some new shit happens that makes no sense. And then one of the biggest plot twists, I think it's season 2, I might have skipped over that accidentally. One of the biggest plot twists for me in like TV history, not just anime, just TV history, like where you think you know what's gonna happen, or you think somebody's on the main character's side and just boom, like niggas is fighting to the death out of nowhere. Ooh. I mean, somebody might need to correct me, but off the top of my head, I can't think of any anime like that where, you know, you think you're just standing next to your homie. You went to battle with this homie all this time, and all of a sudden shit pops off and half of you is fighting, half of you is like, why the fuck am I fighting like, you know, this dude I went to battle with? So it's one of the greatest plot twists. And then as the story gets deeper
but I
and
don't want
deeper,
to give up my future picks knowledge just since you have a pick left to go. Because I definitely have one that I would mention that you probably like, oh yeah, that definitely goes up there too.
okay. Well, you could try to keep or put a note or something. We could
Oh yeah.
talk about it afterwards. And then, you know, I think there's 5 seasons, and then they had 2 movies. Is that how
Yeah, they're
did
trying
it?
to finish it up, but they're chopping up the finale right now still. I think they're not quite done. There's like one more piece left to it.
Okay. So anybody that, you know, wants to tune in to Attack on Titan, definitely check it out. It's the perfect time to get into it. Um, the ending, like it's not done yet, so it's hard to say, but like I'm not gonna lie, it got kind of weird towards the end, a little too weird than what you were expecting. But I mean, it's still really good. I have to see how it ends. Um, but yeah, I gotta go with Attack on Titan. It has some Game of Thrones type storytelling. If you're into Game of Thrones, out of backstabbing and, you know, some psychological games like Lamar mentioned, like Death Note, you know, playing chess in their heads, even in the middle of a battle. I don't know if any of you guys got something to say about Attack on Titan before I move on.
It's a very interesting one because I think as they have gotten to the end, you understand why it began where it began. I know people love it. It's not one of my favorites, but I understand why people like it. I also know a little bit about the person who created the series, and that's partly why I don't like it personally. But it definitely, you don't see the end coming if all you came into it from was the beginning. Like if you had exposure, I think if you had exposure to Game of Thrones, you would probably like before. I think you probably see Attack on Titan differently than the person that comes in with just none of that background. Like it but definitely has those elements to it. That when you said that, I was like, yeah, no, that's definitely a good one-to-one comparison. Yeah.
Appreciate that. What about you, Lamar?
Just about the series.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have nothing to say, I was just asking.
I mean, to be honest, I just watched the first season.
Okay.
I never finished it, but yeah, so I don't have like an informed opinion about it because I'm missing so much of it. But from what I've seen, it was really dope. Those monsters are freaking terrifying.
Yeah. They're
just the
fucking
way they
ugly.
move.
Yeah, the way they walk, man. That shit is so creepy.
I just remember, like, you know, when I watched it, and I don't do this often, but sometimes I watch these movies, and if it's a good like horror survival, I'm like, do I want to live in this world? And I was like, hell no. If these things existed, off me right now. Because I'm not about to get like chewed to death by some giant creature running around, just like throwing his like the way they move. Nah, like I just can't do it. I can't.
You don't want to be some Titans Laffy Taffy?
Yeah, no, sir. Nah, man. But it's a really gruesome anime from what I've seen, and like the action is really good, and just the emotional beats that I saw in there is really good. But yeah, I just haven't finished it.
Okay. All right. And with my third round pick, like I said, my fucking top five got demolished. So kind of being a basic bitch right here, but fuck, someone's got to take it.
Hey,
I got to go with Hunter x Hunter
there we go.
with my
Hunter,
third
Hunter.
round pick. Oh man, this is such a good show, especially if you like Dragon Ball Z. This is another anime that I would say is better than Dragon Ball Z, but like I said earlier, there's just something about Dragon Ball Z I can't I can't knock it down too much, even though I'm obviously not picking it yet. But this show, just the power scaling and watching the main characters get stronger and stronger. Each season brings like something completely different. Like there's not too many shows that I enjoy where like the new arc is like so way off from the last one. But it works for this show. A lot of new characters are brought in just for this specific arc. You might not ever see them again, or they randomly pop up for an episode or two. There's a certain arc where there's a video game element to it, where it's like they go into a video game world. Just it's not too deep of a story, but it's just the different stories they tell in each season and each arc. It's just, man, it's one of those shows that I just kept watching back to back all the way through. Character development, the villains, just one of the best animes I've ever seen. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts about Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, are you kidding? So it is made by the same person who made Yu Yu Hakusho.
Actually didn't know that.
Same author. Shout out to him. He is actually dealing with some back issues, which is why it's not been finished, so that the anime can finish as well. But we did just get an update last fall of the manga for it, so we're gonna get some more anime of it here soon. Love Hunter x Hunter. I know people think of Hisoka as a perv. I think that is one of the best villain characters ever written. And
is that the weird clown?
Yes. Did you know that bungee gum has the properties of both rubber and gum?
That's so random.
Is that a quote?
No, so that's how he explains his ability every time we talks about it.
Oh, okay.
And so the reason I like Hisoka is not because of the perviness or anything like that. It's because I love a character that will tell you what the plan is and you still can't beat him. Hisoka will tell you exactly how his nin powers work and you still can't kill him.
Yeah.
And I love him. So I think that probably one of the best arcs in the history of anime is the Chimera Ant arc in Hunter x Hunter. Just right down to the little subtle touches during that fight between Meruem and Isaac Netero, like just little subtle things that were bringbacks from earlier in the series. I love it. So it's I got nothing but positive stuff to say about Hunter x Hunter. That's one of my favorites. Just that is one of my top 5 ever.
Oh wow, that's really up there with you.
Oh yeah.
Same, man. I love that show. I'm gonna rewatch it soon. I've only seen it once, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So
did you watch the 2011 series? Or did you watch the classic one?
I'm pretty sure I watched the newer one.
Okay, yeah. If you ever get a chance, just go back to see. You can see the difference between the two, because there's the 1999 one is done a little bit differently and it feels different because of some of those changes. I think you'll like them both. But
I'll check that one out.
My last thought on that is Corolla Lucifer has to go. This is me, a person who openly calls himself a supervillain, that says that dude has got to go. He gotta go, son. Like, there's nobody I've ever wanted dead in an anime. Like, I want this man dead.
That's hilarious.
I haven't seen you take that tone yet, Matthew.
Yo, yeah, right.
You gotta say your full name for that one.
Yeah, right.
Like, I don't even hate it. Like, I don't hate him like I hate Joffrey from Game of Thrones, but they both had to. He gotta go, son.
Which one is he again?
Cruella's the one that runs the Phantom Troop. He's the one that has the book that can take people's powers
Oh, okay.
and copy them so that he can use them. Yeah.
Okay.
You know, he gets so much worse after what you all have seen in the anime of him. Like, I already didn't like him by the end of that York New City arc, but I really don't like him now.
Damn. All right.
I never saw it. So interestingly enough, I was talking to a friend and she was recommending that and Seven Deadly Sins.
Yes.
And I was like, well, which one do I start with? And she's like, you got to watch Seven Deadly Sins. So I watched that over Hunter x Hunter and just never circle back to it. You know, it's so many things on my list that it's just easy to just kind of focus on something else. But I've never seen it. Heard great things, but I've never watched a single episode of that.
Oh, yeah. I think you in particular will like it.
Yeah.
A lot.
Definitely. You'll love it.
For sure. I'm mad because I was like, I didn't even like Seven Deadly Sins. At least from what I watched. I did not like it, man. Dude was a pervert. I was like,
oh, yeah, no, the MC is trash in that.
Yeah, that dude was wild.
But Escanor, though.
Yeah, so I got, you know, I just got to rewatch it because a lot of things I got to rewatch with fresh eyes. I think I was a little jaded when I started it. But
it has a couple really good arcs. So if you do get back into Seven Deadly Sins,
that's what I'm hearing.
But I'm not gonna lie, there are some parts where I'm like, watch 6-7 episodes in a row. I'm like, oh man, like I wasn't really feeling this little part. But once it gets good and the fight scenes and they're working together as a team, man.
All right, for sure.
Some great action sequences.
I guess I'll fight through some of those.
The
episodes.
Lion's Sin of Pride, Escanor. Just if you skip everything else, just see his scenes.
I got you. I got you. Is it me?
Yeah, it's on you.
Yep.
All right. This one just holds near and dear to my heart. I have no idea just how like big. I know it's big. It was out here. I just don't know how like if it's renowned or not. But Fooly Cooley, FCLC, whatever you want to call it. Talked about this with you, JayMan, and C-Rock on the first episode. There's not a lot of things, shows, movies that just influenced me as much as a creative than Fooly Cooley was. I remember watching this and I was like, what the fuck is going on? But in that bizarreness, in just that weirdness of the series, it's just where it's endearing and that's where it hooks you. Because like if you ask somebody what the hell this show is about, you'd be like, all right, there's this kid, maybe 12 years old. This girl with pink hair pulls up in a Vespa and beats him on side of the head with a guitar. And then the first couple episodes, there's giant ass robots coming out his head. And it's just,
wow.
It is just fucking weird. But again, like it just kept me coming back. And I love weirdness. And so again, it just every time I go back to it, like I just have fun. It's a quick, I think it's like 6 episodes. I think the whole series itself is like 2 hours of that. It's really quick. It's just, I think it's hilarious. It's just fun. And like I said, it just influenced me as a creative. Like I watched that series and was like, I want to do that. Whatever the fuck you just did, I want to do that. So again, it's just a hilarious, just random ass series. If you one of those people who just like tell me a story and tell that story and you don't want to get too off path, you're gonna hate it. Because you're gonna ask yourself multiple times while watching this 6-episode anime of like, what what the fuck am I watching? You might even watch it and be like, did I miss something? Like, did I miss the episode? But no, you didn't. Just sit back and enjoy the weird shit that's being presented to you. And if you do that, you'll be fine. It's like a high. If you're on edibles, if you fight it, you're gonna have a terrible time. But if you just kind of just let it go, I think you'll find a lot of good things to enjoy about it. So for Fooly Cooley, just the bizarreness of it and the weird nature of it, I'm there for it. And it's one of my favorite animes.
And definitely have some edibles when you watch it. It'll make it even more fun.
Sure. Just going for the ride. Just like take me.
Go for the ride. If you're in Colorado, have some of those natural medicines before you enjoy it. It'll be a great time.
Special brownies, that funny grass.
I'll definitely check that out. You said it's just 6 episodes?
It's only 6. It's not long.
It's
easy
not long
at all. Yeah.
All
right. So I've mentioned this before multiple times. I have to pick it because it would be wrong of me to say this is one of my favorite of the big 3 and one of my favorite of all time. And that's Bleach. I gotta have Bleach. This is how deep I go into Bleach. I fully admit that I have written fan fiction in the Bleach universe.
Okay. I
Not
actually
the-
love fan fiction. I ain't mad at that.
Not the weird, we're gonna have these random ass sexual relationships fan fiction. I actually wrote what I call the side story. So I had some of the main characters involved, but it's entirely, sort of separate situation going on, happening as the story of Bleach was happening. I love it.
Nice.
Aesthetically, I love that Kubo Tite does that hyper minimalist look to his background work, so that the characters themselves are really the important thing that you're seeing in all of his panels, and the anime really adapted that well. One, it's come back with 1,000 Year Blood War arc, and if you aren't watching that, I don't know what y'all doing out here. Like that looks amazing. It's movie quality animation for a TV show, and we're in the second like 6 episodes of it. So trust me, go get back into it if you've walked away. But I've always loved it. I love the system to the power. It was so good that I ended up reading the series that essentially created it, Zombie Powder, which is one that he basically stopped writing. He was going through depression, but he stopped writing it as he was getting better, and took all of that stuff, reworked it, and created Bleach. And so there's little nods and hints to Zombie Powder in Bleach. I love it. It is like, if I have a top 3, it's probably at least 3.
Okay.
Honestly, like it's one of those ones. Like, I had to crack the big 3 of shonen anime at some point here, and that's the one I'm picking. If you told me, all right, you can watch every Dragon Ball everything or watch Bleach right now, I'm watching Bleach.
Okay. Now I got a question, because I tried to watch Bleach. I put 3 episodes on, and it was just a little too slow for me to like. Would you recommend like an episode where it starts to pick up?
You need to
or
get to 6 before
Okay.
you get into the main story. One of the things, especially because it was adapted in the early 2000s period for shonen anime, it does a quick setup of, I need you to get the underall premise of this series first, and then I'll get you into what the series is really going to do. Because
Okay.
those first 6 episodes are basically set up to get you ready for everything that's going to happen later. Even some of the characters don't happen later in the series, but I'd say those first 4 episodes are probably pretty slow for the average person coming into it. So yeah, definitely get to 6, and from there you're gonna be ready to rock.
All right. Now, is it kind of like Naruto, where there's a bunch of filler episodes and you have to basically say skip, episodes 21 through 26?
There are filler arcs, and you kind of notice that they're filler arcs immediately, because there are characters. All your main characters will suddenly just not be moving forward with anything, and there'll be a very clearly, I like to call them like bottle, like closed bottle, like shipping a bottle style arc of 10 to 15 episodes that are focused on something that just has never come up before and would make a lot of difference to the story previously if it did. That's a filler arc.
Okay.
The Bount, the Zanpakuto Spirit arc, and I think there's like one more beyond that are just straight up filler arcs, and everything else is. But basically, anybody who's watched Bleach can tell you what the actual real arcs are. The first is the Soul Society arc. The next is the Hueco Mundo arc. And then there's the Substitute Shinigami arc. Those are real arcs. And then the one that's going on right now, which is the 1,000 Year Blood War arc, which is the Shinigami versus the Quincy. Those are the actual arcs for the series. Everything else is just filler.
Okay. I have to send me that list, because I remember I was trying to get into Naruto, and then somebody's like, "Oh, you gotta get this list of all the episodes to skip. That's why you ain't having fun." I'm like, bro, what? And so like, as soon as the anime has to go in a certain order and jump around or skip episodes, 21 to 26, I'm just like, man, I just want anime with no filler, just put it on and go. So
believe it or not, that's a modern thing. Like, that's a 2010s basically forward thing.
yeah, that's what I'm realizing.
Most series had filler, even if they only had like a filler episode, if they were a short series, or they would have whole filler arcs, because you needed to give time for whoever was writing the manga for it to finish whatever that ongoing arc was, so they could animate it. And sometimes just the animation sometimes would just take forever to get done as well. And so you have a lot of shows that have those filler sections because of that. And the big 3 Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece
Oh yeah.
have a lot of filler because of that. Like in Naruto's case, the guy who wrote it, Kishimoto, took 2.5 to 3 years off basically from writing before
Damn.
coming back. And so you just have a giant amount of filler because there was nothing being written.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like,
He
look,
said, "Fuck
this is
them
hot. We got to
kids."
keep this going.
No, for sure.
Yeah, basically. And so,
I-
with Bleach, it was more because Kubo got sick at a certain point, and so he would have to take small breaks here and there. And so they put in filler arcs so that he would get time to get closer to the end. And then the last actual arc for the series in the anime before the 1,000-Year Blood War arc was primarily filler because they didn't know if they were going to, want to animate the cost that was going to take to animate the last arc he made. And now they are doing it, so it's good.
Okay. I definitely that was one of the animes I was gonna kind of force myself to watch because I hear nothing but great things about it. And like sometimes you gotta just, every once in a while, everybody loves it but you. Sometimes you gotta just eat that. And
That's
I've
me
been
in One
wanting to
Piece.
get back into Bleach. It just it just
I-
wasn't for me. But now that you're talking about it and it's so high on your list, I definitely want to check it out again.
Bro, I think every time I tried to watch Bleach, obviously when it was coming on TV and stuff, I think every time I turned it on, it was a filler episode because it would just be another random motherfucker I've never seen before fighting somebody, and I'm like, who are you?
Yeah, don't watch the dub. Watch the sub.
Yeah,
And not because I think that that sub is inherently better or anything like that. I don't. But the American dub of it was done specifically for Toonami, and I don't like a lot of the voice actor choices for it.
That's fair. I will say with this, I've never watched Bleach. I don't know what the hell's going on. Like, gun to my head, they said explain the series of Bleach, the story. I couldn't tell you. And I watch random episodes every now and then. I will say they have some of my favorite character designs though. Even if I watch something,
the ones I've seen look dope.
Yeah, I remember like back in the day, like I think everybody did this. When people was like trying to draw like Goku, and stuff like. I'm gonna try to draw this Bleach character or like make my own little version of Bleach. I just thought they were these designs were just some of the best I've ever seen.
That's why he does the hyper minimal backgrounds is because he wants those character designs to pop. And in Ichigo, the main character, bruh, the drip on this man is wild.
Oh no, yeah.
So Kubo will make like whole cover art panels and just like side art for the manga that is just Ichigo in other outfits. Like they have nothing to do with what's going on in the actual chapter, nothing to do with what's going on in the series. He's just in just the greatest drip you've ever seen. And I was just like, bro, where did he get this idea to draw this? Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, definitely. That's my first pick. I had to get that one out of the way because I couldn't stand to have somebody pick that one instead of me. This next one is defensive.
Okay.
Oh, he ain't rubbing his hands this time.
Nah.
It's defensive because I don't personally like. I respect this series, but I don't like it. And since I've already got Gundam, Bleach, and Yu Yu Hakusho,
don't you do it?
I have to take Neo Genesis Evangelion because if you're gonna take one of the classics that has to be considered amongst the greatest of all time, it's gotta be Evangelion. And I have some other defensive picks that I don't necessarily agree that they should be on my list, but I respect them enough that I have to pick them. But you've got, in the same way Tenchi Muyo has a guy who is just afraid of relationships, you have Shinji who is just afraid of everything, despite being this like inherent badass character, and just doesn't want to do what's going on. His relationship with his dad is important to it all. The secret behind why they're using these giant robots is great to fight these kaiju. And you just can't beat giant kaiju fights. Like, look, everybody's seen Godzilla at some point in life. You wanted to know, what if you could fight Godzilla? This is what happens when you find out if you can fight Godzilla. And so, like, I've got to pick it. Like I said, it's so respected by me. Despite, like I said, I probably would pick a solid 10 or 15 other series before it if I'm just picking favorites. But this is about best. This is about the GOATs, the greatest of all time. I got to put it up there because it definitely is.
All right, I just got to give you some respect. Respect your game, Matt. He ain't over here playing favorites and nothing like that. He's not picking his list. He's picking the best list. So when people start commenting on who has the best list, they probably gonna say Matt. So Definitely respect to that.
I mean, he cheated. He named a whole fucking series that has like
You
20
can't just pick
goddamn-
one Gundam
Yes, you
series.
can.
No, you
Yes,
can't.
you can. You can
He said,
pick
I'm picking
one.
Gundam, all of them.
All
I
of
was like,
them.
damn. I was like, is that one of the series? Is it called all of them? Like,
Yeah.
what's going on?
How long is that? When that come out?
But
I
man,
had some
respect,
Gundam.
man.
Yeah.
Lamar didn't tell me I was gonna have some real competition, man, because them
Oh,
other drafts, nobody really got too strategic. They just kind of did their own
Nah.
personal preference. I'm like, I know who they gonna get. I know who he gonna get.
Yeah.
All right, let me save this for last. And damn, that shit blew up in my face this time.
As a
Yeah.
Kansas City native, a Chiefs Kingdom born and raised, Patrick
God.
Mahomes loving, Chiefs fan, I have to think smartly about what I'm doing.
Damn.
Well, all right.
I mean, I tried to, Matt, I knew you was gonna be a problem because I don't know. It may be because I know you and you have a very sinister voice to you. So when you text, I just hear you say it and I hear that laugh. It was just like very nonchalant, like hella quick, like, yeah, I know a little bit about some some old. And I'm like, oh shit.
And you can hear him rubbing his hands together in the background.
Yeah, I got a little something for y'all.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
got
got back there. Mouse that sliding sound over there.
It's like light work, Essentially, he's like Michael Jordan when it's like Michael Jordan gonna bust your ass if you 30, 12 years old. Like he ain't gonna take it easy on you, and that's what you be doing.
I mean, you asked about anime, and I took that personally.
Yeah, right. And I mean, I just kind of started going with some popular ones that I really enjoy, mainly what I enjoy, because the big ones everybody talk about, I really don't like One Piece. But with that said, I'm gonna name one.
Sorry, we just had to clap for that because the One Piece stands are too loud.
Okay,
too loud.
JayMan, our friend Andy swear on his life that One Piece has no filler.
No fucking way.
No, yes, we've gotten into arguments, and he's telling his wife, and he's like, no, because if you watch it, every episode, and he calls it filler. I was like, well, you call it filler, so it's filler. He's like, no, but because everything that happens in the episodes that people call filler, it ties back into the series. It's like, and just because they take some shit and just talk about it later does not mean it's not filler. It's still filler. It's not progressing a story. It's not progressing anything. That is the definition of filler. And just because you like
if it was made by the anime studio and not by the manga artist, it's filler.
It's filler. Now, with that said, I'm just naming this next one just because it popped most of our cherries. It's just a famous anime, but I'm gonna just say Dragon Ball Z Kai.
That's the one I rewatched.
I would give you all of Dragon Ball because I think that counts. It's like Gundam. You get the whole thing.
Okay, I'll take the whole thing.
But Kai is definitely the best representation of what Z was. Yeah.
So essentially, for those who don't understand, Dragon Ball Z, big man slapping man meat. That's the best way I can describe it here.
The Big E reference. I love it.
There you go.
I love the wrestling reference. Yes.
So it's big men slapping man meat. And there's really it's a story there, but it loses itself in just the filler. Like we talked about, Dragon Ball Z has been a subject this entire podcast. It will introduce a subject and a fight and drag that shit on for like 20 episodes. So essentially the series is maybe just shy of like 400 episodes. The original Dragon Ball Z is maybe like 370, 380, I think. They redid a series called Dragon Ball Kai and took out all of the filler. It finished in like 100 episodes, if that. Like, so it just tells you just how much filler is in Dragon Ball Z. So Kai just kind of got away, trimmed all the fat. And in there, it's not the most deep story you gonna watch. But, Dragon Ball Z does have some cool fights. Again, it's an older anime, so some of it can't compare to what they're doing now. It's not an emotional story, so you're not going there to cry. You're not going there to think too hard. It's really Monkey Man punches somebody in the face who comes down from space to destroy the Earth. And if you can live with that, it's just take it for what it is. But I really say it's a top anime because, again, it's just it's like everybody, it introduced a lot of people to anime. And I say
it's like
without
picking
it,
Superman with comics. You know who Superman is.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And it's just like without Dragon Ball Z, I don't know when people's anime cherry would have been popped, especially boys. And so it just it got me into the genre. It made me want to see what was better because like, it's no way this is the best it could get. And it really made me dive into other things. And I don't think I really would have done that without Goku turning Super Saiyan and without Vegeta punching Gohan in the stomach. I think that was probably one of the coldest shit I ever seen in my life. He just punched that little nigga in the stomach and just took his shit and just left. But I'm gonna say Dragon Ball Z just because just how culturally relevant it is. To this day, people still talk about Dragon Ball. Like rappers, musicians talk about Dragon Ball, and if they know no other anime, they know Dragon Ball. And I think you got to put respect on his name just for the fact that it's, whether you like it or not, whether you think it's a good story or not, it is very influential. So I'm gonna say Dragon Ball Z. I'll give it all of it, I guess. Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to Super. I love Dragon Ball Z Super. They brought so many storylines that were similar. You know, bringing Future Trunks back, expanding on Frieza, even though that was kind of to me. But it was cool to see Frieza back, and then of course the Tournament of Power, arguably up there with any arc in Dragon Ball Z to me. Maybe not others, but man, I really love. Yeah, I love the Tournament of Power because that was like the first time in Dragon Ball Z where everybody got to shine. You know, Krillin got to shine, Master Roshi, Gohan did his thing, Piccolo. Nobody got, I mean, obviously power scaling and all that, but nobody really got dogged. Everyone got a piece, you know.
That's what's up.
You know, Goku obviously
Master Roshi putting in that work.
That was amazing. So I was like, man, to see all these old school characters, they've been kind of off to the side, getting their ass beat the last few arcs. And I was like, hey, they all got a piece, man. They all got a piece. And it just made me happy. It's like the inner child in me was like, man, Tien got to beat ass.
I was just about to ask about Tien.
Yeah.
I mean, there is
Did Chaozu get some? Chaozu
there is somebody that gets packed up like he always gets packed up, though. And we look forward to it.
Vegeta?
Yamcha.
Oh, Vegeta.
Yamcha gets packed up like Yamcha always gets packed up. And that is ever since Dragon Ball was over, Yamcha's been getting packed up everybody.
He need to go in the house with Bulma or something.
Yeah, just go.
No, Vegeta's with Bulma. He don't get
no, he's a friend. He's just there. We ain't worried about
that's
him.
what I don't mean
He's
like that. I mean just get in the house somewhere.
Go with Chaozu. Like
go get Beerus and pudding. Like what you doing?
I will say this with Dragon Ball Z. Another thing is I don't know. Maybe it's just me. There's so many unintentionally hilarious moments of Dragon Ball Z for me.
Oh,
just even when like after the Frieza saga, and then like Vegeta comes, he wearing his little pink shirt, and then with no explanation, after Bulma was dating Yamcha for years, it's like, oh yeah, she with Vegeta now, and it's like, what the fuck? Like,
I mean, which would you want? The dude that gets packed up by Cybermen, or the Prince of all Saiyans,
who also get packed up? But
hey, you stop that. You stop that. Y'all leave my boy alone.
Come on. Remember when he gave the beautiful rant about how Cell killed Trunks because everybody thought Trunks was dead? It was like, you took my pride, you took this, and now you took my son. He thought he was doing something smoke clears. He get his ass beat. I was like, damn, that was your one moment to shine, and you still got your ass beat.
They could have let him. The writers could have let him combo Cell up a little, just a little bit, maybe a 4 or 5 hit combo, then get rocked.
Yeah,
Toriyama said he doesn't actually like Vegeta.
He hates Vegeta,
yeah, he actually like openly hates Vegeta, and that's why this has always happened. Because Vegeta ends up fighting whoever the big bad is before Goku, and ends up getting beat by them because Goku's got to be the one to win. It's like, can you stop this?
Yeah,
they tried to give us Gohan, and niggas hated it. So
because what? Like, hold on, Great Saiyaman.
He was corny. Okay.
Yeah. The green tracksuit.
I hated that. I hated it.
Yeah.
Like, come on. He didn't.
One thing.
Give us Gohan. That's not trying to give us Gohan. Let's be real here.
Well, another funny thing that about Vegeta is remember how they had wished everybody back on Namek and then to be transferred to Earth.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, where's that one village? And Vegeta's in the
He's
corner
like-
with his arms folded. I killed them.
Yeah.
They're not
like, oh yeah,
coming
Frieza
back.
didn't kill him.
I was like, God damn, Vegeta.
Like, yeah.
And the next time you see that nigga, he with Bulma. It's like,
Yeah.
there's no way you
Reminding the
should have
Yamcha that he took his girl. Like, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
like,
he had no remorse for killing the
like,
people.
my
on
man's
Namek,
might
man.
get beat by the big bad, but he's got the riz of a god before he ever got God Key.
Facts.
I forgot about that. He gave no fucks. There's like, why did they come back? He's like, because Frieza didn't kill him.
I killed
The
him.
Princess Saiyans killed him. It's like,
Yeah.
I was like, God damn, Vegeta. Like, they just saved your life. You don't feel a little bad?
No, he was
No.
pissed. He's like,
Like, no, I'm still mad about not being a Super Saiyan. No. Like, I feel him.
That,
he
that shit
abandoned
was
his
so
son.
funny.
I'm like, this dude is wild as shit.
Yes.
Yeah, then he wanted to be a Majin to defeat Boo, but then he kills all the people in the tournament. I was like,
Oh, damn.
I was like,
yeah,
you
he
an
was
asshole, bro.
wildin'.
Yo, Majin Vegeta is a great arc. Are you serious? I love that. Oh, I love it. I love it so much.
This is why I talked about number 4. I was like, it's so many great, memorable scenes from Dragon Ball Z.
Mhm.
Like when it's bad, and it's like just the epitome of just poor pacing and poor writing. But when
we
it
talked
is
about
good,
betrayals before, that's what I was going to mention was the Vegeta going Majin and deciding to fight Goku again.
That was dope.
Top betrayals in anime because Goku's like, oh yeah, we're all on the same side. We're all friends now.
I said, nope, nigga.
Nah, but she said over.
But to be fair,
his
I
hands.
think a lot of us saw that coming, you know?
It's that same pride, technically.
Yeah, because he was always next time Kakarot.
Yeah.
Like he was always talking about after we beat this
Oh.
villain, yeah, you're next Kakarot. Like he was always saying that shit. And then I just want to bring up one more funny part. Is when Majin Buu first, the arc first started after they all left from the tournament, and there was Supreme Kai in that little elevator like type level where it gets the enemies get stronger each time.
Mm-hmm.
And Supreme Kai's oh my god, he's like the strongest, and they're over there doing rock paper scissors to see who gets to fight first. And he's like, wait, are the Saiyans really this powerful? Have I had no idea what was going on? Like, you ain't no Supreme Kai, nigga. How the fuck
Yeah.
you don't know about Frieza and everything he's been doing and that the Saiyans stopped him? Like, I mean, to me, that was a huge plot hole, but just the fact he was like blown away. Like, these Saiyans are over here playing rock, paper, scissors to see who gets to go beat ass first. Like,
Yeah.
that shit was amazing. I love that scene so much.
That shit was great.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one. Because Goku is just your friend that loves to fight,
Yep.
finding other people to fight.
Correct.
Like that's just the whole
Yeah.
series.
Yeah.
I
And
feel
it's, it's like, yeah,
And then
I'm gonna be a
Vegeta, let's
senzu
wait,
bean.
let's let him get stronger
Yeah.
before we
Oh my
fight him.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vegeta didn't want no easy snacks. He wanted his
No.
ass beat.
For someone who was like 0-20, I think he beat the fat dude
Y'all
on
gonna
that.
stop disrespecting
No,
my
no,
boy
he
like
beat
this.
Zarbon. He beat Zarbon on
He
Namek,
beat a
and
couple
that's-
of them.
But that's
He
it.
beat a
After they
couple
got
of them
home
on
from
Namek.
He did.
He beats Zarbon.
Okui?
He beats most of the Ginyu Force. Like, because they every time they come back. 'cause
Oh, he did. He did.
He
Like,
beat two of them,
yeah.
I thought.
He
Yeah.
bought, yeah.
And
Totally-
then and then there's two
killed
left.
He killed all of them, but Ginyu. Goku did the work for some of them, but he
Yeah.
killed all of them, and then like with Goku's help, and then there's 2 he did kill by himself.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Chase and Verta. He kills himself along with Dodoria.
Yeah.
Not Dodoria. The
Zarbon.
no, not Zarbon. The
Who he-
little small squat one. That
Oh,
they make
The one that holds his
um,
breath.
The
that
green
in the
one.
bridge they say
Gordo
"You're not
or
supposed to dog
Gordon
treat
or
him."
some shit like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, we got a side rant with Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, that was fun though.
though.
It's on me. So we kind of already talked about this one. Like I said, man, you guys kind of messed up my list, so I gotta go full on basic bitch. I gotta go Demon Slayer, represent with the shirt.
Oh, I gotta let you have that, of course.
For sure.
So Demon Slayer, man, like I said, there's few animes out there where the first episode hooks you and it's just crack after that. The quick little training arc is only a couple episodes and they get right back to fighting. Seeing him go from just, a kid going down and smelling coals and shit to having to learn how to fight and become, what is he called? The Demon Corp, or I forget what the name of it's called,
The
whatever he
Demon Corp.
joins.
Yeah, it's
The Demon Corp. So watching him pass the test to become a member of the Demon Corp and fighting stronger and stronger demons along the way. His relationship with his sister Nezuko is so powerful, emotional. One of the greatest like sibling stories to me. And it, like I said earlier, in any story, not just anime. Um, the most
You
recent
gotta pick,
season,
and you can't pick sun style. What's your your breathing style?
I like the water one.
Okay, so you straight up with the water. All right,
Yeah,
all right.
I'm a big fan. I just like the animation, like the waves and the way it circles around when he's getting ready to attack, like the breathing. Love it. Um, Side characters are definitely unique, a lot different than what most side characters are in anime. So it's a different spin. And then you have the Hashira, the most powerful demon slayers.
Yeah.
The introduction to them is like, man, I don't want to say when it happens, but when you see how powerful they are, and you're like, I'm a big fan of anime when the main character is like not even in the top 20, top 30 of power for the first season or so. And so you see the power scaling, you see them slowly get stronger and stronger. You're like, oh, they're on this level yet. And then they get the ass beat. Not yet, almost though. And I just really love watching characters in anime like really start from the bottom. And they're not just OP from season one, because like where do you go from there? You know, one of the problems with Dragon Ball Z, which they kind of fixed in Super, thankfully, but you know, it's like where do you go? Like he's already the strongest. There's no development much for us to do. So I got
I
to go
think if
with
you're gonna
Demon
do
Slayer.
that, you have to do it the right way, and not every series does that. But one of my picks will probably address that particular thing, though.
Okay, you don't have to do the explanation.
Oh yeah.
When it's your
Who's your
turn
favorite
again.
Hashira though? Because you mentioned them. Who's your favorite Hashira?
Man, that's tough because I don't really know their names.
I mean, whichever, like you can say whatever their style was or whatever, whatever you know what they look like and things like that. Because I forget the names half the time too. So that's not a. This is not gatekeeping, people. I'm really just asking because I'm a fan of the show too.
um, I would say the poison girl.
Oh
I forget her name.
yeah. They uses the wisteria instead of doing all the hardcore techniques. I feel you. Yeah.
So
I like her.
I love the episode where they introduced her. I watched it so long ago when it first came out, but I just remember like um Tanjiro, he was doing something or fighting somebody or trying to save Nezuko from her, I think. Yeah. And then I'm pretty sure he headbutts the shit out of her or headbutts somebody.
Yeah.
And it just pans her and she's just like, oh my. Like she was like so surprised that this nigga was so strong. And it just her reaction, and she's just kind of awkward and like deadpan kind of. And then I liked the fire one from the Mugen train.
Yeah.
I forget his name. And then
Rengoku.
Rengoku. Yeah, man. Shout out Rengoku. He's so dope, so strong. And then there's one more. Man, I'm trying to think back to the episode where it introduces all of them. Man, I can't think right now. I'm actually, once I pass it off, I'm gonna pull it up on my phone real quick and go back to it. But before I say my next pick, did you guys have anything you want to say about Demon Slayer?
I love the animation from this season.
And
me too. I always forget her name, but the one that she does the love style breathing, but she's just really
the pink hair.
Yeah, but she's really just insanely strong and shit.
Yeah,
like I love her. Here we have this like really over the top like slice of life anime character personality, but also she's like the second strongest person in this entire show. It's like, yo, let's do it. So I loved her inclusion. I really think knowing a bit where they're supposed to be headed next with the story, I really think they've done a really great job of not giving you too much every episode, making you want to see the next one. Like we talked about earlier with Yu Yu Hakusho, it gives you that quality of I got to catch that next episode. I got to catch the next episode. So I love it. It's a great series to me.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What about you, Lamar?
I haven't seen it. It's on my my hit list. But I've never seen it.
I'm coming to LA to make you watch Demon Slayer. Man. That's what we're doing.
Man,
Here's what I'll say, Lamar. Watch the first episode.
Okay.
After that, you'll be set.
No, I will. Like, I heard nothing but great things. It's just, man, my wife want to watch certain stuff, so like,
oh, okay,
yeah,
that's
like
important.
I gotta find time to like watch stuff without her around because she ain't gonna care about none of this. She probably gonna turn on this episode and just watch it to hear me and be like, "This is stupid. I ain't watching none of this." But yeah, so just it's hard to balance a lot of it, but it's definitely on my hit list. And I told myself like the next anime series I watch or start is gonna be that.
Have her watch the first episode with you. That's a show that I think that people who don't really get into anime will actually enjoy.
I got you. She might actually watch it because her best friend is always talking about it. So I've been
just
trying
tell her,
to.
hey, 20 minutes, one episode. If you don't like it after that, cool.
True. All right. I watch Friends. She can watch this. Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly the argument you need to be making. I like this. I like this plan. Good plan.
All right. I got you. I'm gonna do a walk in there.
All right, so everybody watching, man. Lamar's got a plan.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I got you.
To watch Demon Slayer with his wife. We're gonna have to check in with him in a week or two.
See,
hey, maybe she moved in. They watched the whole series together.
Right?
Let's hope for that.
Yeah.
And then for my last pick, I gotta be basic bitch again. I wanted one that was kind of off the wall, but oh well. I gotta go with My Hero Academia. A lot of similarities to Demon Slayer. Like I said on a previous episode, if you like the X-Men, if you like the Avengers and imagine them being in high school, that's basically what the show is. Like I just mentioned, I love main characters that come into the show with no powers and they're literally one of the weakest people, and then they just slowly become stronger and stronger. You see them start to match up with their with the other students and be able to hold their own after a while, after getting their ass beat for most of the season. So I definitely recommend that for first time anime watchers as well. Man, they're on season 5, I think now. All the seasons are great. Character development, great storyline, everything. It's a great show. I've always loved superhero shows, like, just watching like the Justice League and Batman and the Spider-Man animated series as a kid. And this is the one anime that like gives me like those same feels from watching those types of shows. So that's definitely a great show for anybody who hasn't seen it. And then on that note, back on you, Lamar. Yeah, this you got last pick, by the way, so make it count.
I got last pick, or
no? This is the last round.
I got
both you guys get one more.
Yeah, I got
okay.
One. Y'all took a lot of the ones I wanted to say, which was I already knew. I'm going with Zoids. I'm joking. I'm not going with Zoids. I don't know if
hey, he said it here, y'all heard him.
Yours is a good show. Shout out to Zoids.
I'm not going with Zoids. Damn, it's hard. I'm gonna just say Elfen Lied. I was gonna say JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but it's one I did not finish, and I was like, you know what? It's very ignorant of me. But I would say,
does that get better? Because I watched like 10 episodes. I'm like, what is this? So
I don't know. I enjoyed it.
I need to pose consistently because we have mentioned JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I enjoyed it, and I would say this anime is a top anime of all time and it's not my pick because I was doing Elfen Lied, and I already talked about it, so I don't need to talk about it again. But the reason JoJo Bizarre Adventure is so high up there for me and some shit I love, they have Jodeci Freaking You as an end credit song for season, I forgot whichever season it was.
You said Jodeci?
Jodeci.
Yeah.
What?
So JoJo's is broken up into like each season is a different adventure of a different Joestar family member. Mm-hmm. So you're going to get stuff in the very first season with Jonathan that you're not going to have later with Jotaro. Like it progresses all the way through, but the binding thing is that they are all JoJo's. They are all something Joestar, and so that's why if you watch one season, it's not going to look anything like the other ones.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
the season he's talking about with Golden Wind, yes.
Yeah, so from whatever, and they are self-contained, but you was like, I figured I'll go with something that I watched all of it because maybe maybe the season I missed because
It's not
it's
over.
all out of order. It could be trash. I don't know. So I'm gonna just go with something I enjoyed. Like I mentioned with Elfin Lied, I think it's a very tight-knit story. It doesn't waste your time. It gets in, it gets out. It's emotional at times. It's violent at times. And again, it's just a personal preference because all of the top ones I wanted to say, because this motherfucker over here gonna say all the Gundam. And then double back with you Hakushu. Like I would just say I gotta go with a personal preference because again, it just meant so much to me. So yeah, that was my final.
Now
right.
I could be that guy.
Be that guy.
And,
you already was that guy. You started
and go
off that
way
guy.
classic and take Voltron.
I was thinking about Voltron.
But I'm not gonna do that. And I'm not gonna pick any of the ones between Voltron and my actual pick that would be very easy to win this, like Sailor Moon. Because even though we might not like it, Sailor Moon is one of those animes that is truly at the highest end of the tier.
Absolutely.
Ironically, the wife of Yu Yu Hakusho and Hunter x Hunter's author is the creator of Sailor Moon. But my pick,
I did not know that.
My pick is going to be one of the newest ones out there that I absolutely believe, even after its first season, is a top 5 of anything I have ever watched.
Ooh.
And
you got to rub your hands together, Matt.
I mean, listen, this is not even statement. This I have to bring my hands together like the CEO pose.
Oh shit!
Okay,
where's your cat
understand? Like, I need you to understand how important this man Satoru Gojo is and his anime Jujutsu Kaisen. This thing we talked about in a previous episode that is something that people should watch. If you like shonen anime, you're going to get those moments. If you like a more horror aesthetic to the things you watch, you're going to get those moments. If you want some story that develops just as character development for people, you're going to get those in this wonderful package. And we are now into the second season. You're dealing with a lot of the internal strife for different characters. There's a flashback that begins the season, and then it gets into some current things going on. Like, it gives you all of that. I have not seen animation done at this level consistently that has been this well done. I have really not seen the shonen genre of anime presented in the modern group of anime as well as they are doing this. People will mention stuff like Seven Deadly Sins. They'll mention Fairy Tail. They'll mention all these other shows. I have never seen a character who is clearly heads and tails above most of the cast be presented in such a fashion that you still want to enjoy the story when it involves them. We were talking about that earlier about, overpowered characters beginning a series. Gojo is not the main character. It can be argued that he is part of what is an ensemble main character cast, but he's not presented as the main character. His story is told, but it's around the story of your actual main character, Yuji Itadori. And because you have him there, you're always measuring, okay, how strong is Yuji versus Gojo? And yet Gojo presents this problem in the story that I like to call the natural disaster problem. Godzilla is a natural disaster, right? He exists beyond what any normal human could handle by themselves, so we have to all work together to stop Godzilla. Same thing with King Kong. In a lot of anime, when you get a character like that, they get the Goku presentation. Gojo doesn't get that. You still understand he is the one. He is the one. Like, there is nobody above him alive. And then you get presented with all of these alternative things that are not about strength to deal with him, whether it's trying to find ways to take him out of the battlefield, whether it's trying to deal with his own internal mentality about what they do as jujutsu sorcerers. Like, it's built around, we're telling our main character story, Yuji's story, but we're also telling you the story of how a world where there's somebody clearly heads and tails above everyone else is dealt with by the rest of society. And you find out that he wasn't always like that, and that's why you have the flashback stuff. But I have not seen a presentation done like this since some of my favorite series, like from back in the day. I have not seen a shonen really approach this well, and since like Air Gear and Tenjo Tenge, it is really one of those ones that you're going to look back on this 10 years from now and go, that might have been one of the best series we've ever seen put together.
Man, well spoken.
You got
man.
me. You sold me.
Well spoken. And I agree. Like I said, that was one of the anime first episode. I was like, yep, I'm watching this whole season. Like, and then it never stopped. And
when they go to fight the Volcano Head dude, and first Gojo's fighting him, and he's like, hold on. And he goes to get Yuji to take him back to go watch the fight. Bro, I was dying. Like, did you really just go get him so he can witness you beat this dude's face in? Like, yes, he did.
And then that fight where that dude was clapping.
Oh yeah, Todo.
Man, that was one of the craziest, most fun, amazing action sequences I've ever seen in any anime. I was just like, what is going on? You see that clap, you just know something stupid happened. And man, that was such a good fight.
Yeah, no, like I said, I love that series. I think they really found a gem in Gege, the creator of it, and they presented it in not just hey, we want to recreate what the manga looks like. They presented it in the fashion of, not only do we want to make it look great, we want to make you want to see more. And man, I'm hungry. I can't wait till tonight when the new episode drops. Like, that's how in I am right now.
Nice.
And I've already read the whole manga. Like, I'm up to date with the manga right now, and I still want to watch the animation. That's how good this is.
I got you.
Man, I've seen this show and you hyping it up to a point. Damn, should I start it over? I started over going into season 2.
Hey, do it.
Man, you hyped that up really well. That sounded like your first pick.
Right.
I feel like he knew nobody was gonna pick it, so it was like,
yeah.
I was saying back there. I kind of had y'all set up, a little bit.
Yeah,
I was like, then I go pick Jujutsu Kaisen, so I can save that for later. I'm gonna use these ones up front that I know we're gonna get to.
Yeah,
That's fair, man. I ain't mad at it. Matt came in with this just strategic planning that I normally come in with. I was ready to go third, man. I was ready to get Yu Yu Hakusho and Full Metal right there, but damn, that didn't work out.
Said not today.
All right, so before we wrap this episode up, you guys got 2 or 3 honorable mentions you guys want to rattle off before we get out of here?
Lamar, up to you, bro. Go for it.
Yeah, man. Talked about it. I say Berserk is a good watch. And then honestly, it's a movie, but it's an anime. Spirited Away.
Well, that's on Netflix, right?
Probably. I think all those.
That might be one of the ones that I keep hearing about. Is that one of those like slice of life, feel good type stories? Or I might be thinking of something else.
That's not considered a slice of life, right, man? I'm assuming not.
I wouldn't consider that slice of life. No.
Yeah,
I might be thinking of something. There's this Netflix movie that came out either this year or last year that like I see so many people talking about. So I thought that might
Spirited
be.
Away is quite old. No, Spirited Away is
okay. Never mind. I'm thinking of something else.
I'm just glad you didn't say the one I thought you were going to say, which was Grave of the Fireflies. Like, I don't need everybody crying after this is over.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't heard of that one.
Spirited Away is this young 10-year-old girl. She kind of ends up in like a spirit realm essentially, and is kind of revolves around her time there. But yeah, I think it kind of going into like a good introductory, like it's a good intro to an anime. It's a movie, short watch. But yeah, I'll kind of be remiss not to bring that up. Outside of that, I think we talked about all of them over the course of the last 2 episodes, things like Outlaw Star. It's not an anime, but fuck it. Last Airbender. Watch it.
Man,
it's not an anime. It's
you can tell exactly how somebody is by how much they love Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like, because that just missed. I was too old for that one to be like one of my ones in my top, but I understand why y'all like it.
Yeah, but it's not, but anything we mentioned on the last 2 podcasts would be something I would have said was an honorable mention, honestly. So
Sure.
What you got?
How about
Well, I
you,
got to
Matt?
give up the movie. So, look, if you're interested in anime and you want to see both the absolute absurdity as well as just I don't know what I just watched stuff happening at the same time as you get a story that kind of gives you something to hold on to. You got to see the one that made anime famous, Aikura.
Yeah.
Tetsuo's but Tetsuo and Kaneda are just two characters that you're gonna attach to quickly. Kaneda's bike is one of those iconic things. If you've ever seen a character in a film on a motorcycle slide into place while holding one hand down on the ground, brushing up the dirt, that is the Aikura bike slide that Kaneda does on his bike. That comes from that. It has been aped by a billion things, including Jordan Poole in I forgot what that movie was. Which one that movie was? Nope. Yeah, it was in Nope.
Yeah.
And so, matter of fact, Robin does it in Batman the Animated Series. Everybody has gotten to this thing at some point. So that's my movie reference that I think everybody should see, just because if you're going to talk about anime movies, it's the one.
You got to talk about that.
You can't not talk about it.
For sure.
Man, my honorable mention that I think I have a love of that I don't think everybody felt the same way about, but you definitely catch the right people that will love it too, is Ronin Warriors.
Yeah.
A great Toonami classic, but it was a great series. I wish it could have gotten the full length it wanted to, but it's a great for what you can find of it. And then my last is actually I'm gonna pull you, Lamar. I'm gonna do a non-anime / kind of anime situation. Netflix's Castlevania series is absolutely amazing. If for nothing other than the last 2 seasons of the thing are storytelling at a level that I hope that one day I can write at. This series gives you all the stuff that you might have loved from the Castlevania games. Like that lore gets pumped into it at different points. So, including the series they got going on coming up called Nocturne, but they give homages to different anime things. Like there's somebody wears day armor at one point. That's a vampire. That is literally a direct homage to Berserk and Guts. She carries a sword the same size as Guts' sword. The fights are well done, where they mix the 2D and 3D animation. It is gorgeous. The voice acting is amazing, and I never thought you could turn Castlevania into something coherent as a anything, much less as an anime. And it fits the bill as Western animation done to its absolute zenith. So I gotta give a shout out to the Castlevania as a honorable mention.
To check that one out too.
Yeah. And they're quick seasons too. The first 2 seasons are like 6 episodes.
Okay. Easy work. They're about 20 minutes.
About 20 minutes, yeah.
Okay. All right. My honorable mention. This one's on Netflix, so this one's an easy watch. I gotta go with Devilman Crybaby. Not sure if you guys seen that one.
Yes.
Kind of like its own thing. I'll say go read the synopsis. I can't explain this. It's amazing. Check it out. And then I know we talked about it on the previous episode, but I just want to make sure we have to bring this up on the greatest animes of all time. Got to bring up Death Note. If you want to hear us talk about it, go back to the other episodes. Shameless promotion. I think Lamar explained it as like having a chess game in your head between 2 rivals, 2 smart, intelligent people going back and forth. Great show. And then lastly, this is kind of like the same. Anybody listens to this episode and actually watches My Hero Academia and Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, one that's a little slept on, but I think it's right up there with them. I don't know if you guys agree, but Black Clover is an amazing anime. It starts off kind of slow. There is action, but the actual story, it takes a while to get into the meat and potatoes of it. But once you get to like the middle of that series, man, the action scenes, the animation, power scaling, the villains they go up against. Once the story starts to unravel, man, I was on the edge of my seat, and then they stopped it and said, "Hey, it's gonna be a while." So, waiting. Luckily, they had a movie to hold us over for a little bit. Movie just came out on Netflix a few months ago. It's great. Something that if anybody thinks they don't want to watch the whole series, start with the movie, see if you like the characters and what's going on. That way like I said, it takes a little bit to get into the meat and potatoes of that. So I think I mentioned Promised Neverland on the previous episode.
I think you did, yeah.
You mentioned it and Dead Man Neverland as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Dead Man Wonderland. Yeah, okay. So anything pop into your guys' head before we get out of here?
Definitely check out Air Gear and Tenjo Tenge. They're both made by Ogre Ito, who goes by Ogre as his mangaka name. Really great, just a great actiony series in both cases. One is kind of focused on basically like futuristic rollerblades, if you will, that have a much more powerful aspect to them. The other one is a traditional high school fight manga. So it's got the anime does the same thing with it, where you get almost straight to the fights. Have some great characters in it, some good funny moments in it. They both get a little not creepy. They get a little fan servicey, but other than that, you got some great series out of those. And they're short series. They're not full length because he didn't want to do full length animes. He just wanted to get you hyped to read his manga with the anime.
Oh,
okay.
Commercials.
Then one more popped into my head while Matt was talking. Definitely check out Vinland Saga. If you're a fan of the TV show Vikings, I think he is on Hulu, History Channel. It's an amazing show. I really was a fan of that show, and somebody was like, "Hey man, it's an anime similar to it. You'll like it." And Vinland Saga. So if you like Vikings and getting on boats and pirates and fucking people up, killing, gore, armies, battle, definitely check it out. And I think that's it for me. I don't know if you got something, Lamar.
Nah, y'all touched on everything.
What about you, Matt?
I could go on for hours. We're not going to get into all the ones I can mention.
Okay, well, all right, let's get one more in there because
one more. Come on,
one more great one. I think you kind of owe it to yourself, just as wanting to kind of get into things, to go back and see the ridiculousness that is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I think that is one of those series that you're gonna get an 80s aesthetic to some of the animation, and you're also gonna get a much more modern approach in some of the later seasons. That I know I was joking around posing and all that, but seriously, I cannot explain how interesting it gets. And there's OVAs from the older years where they did the older animation, then they just redid the whole thing from the beginning, which is what everybody has been seeing here lately. I think that's probably the one that I have to definitely say, it's got to come out. That's just one of those ones.
Yeah.
All right, you guys talking me into it. I'm gonna try picking it up again.
Yeah,
it's definitely bizarre. That was a great word for it.
Let you know.
listen. You're gonna see the Pillar Men, and you'll be like, "What is going on with these dudes?" We talked earlier about the whole homoerotic problem of Guts and Griffith. Yeah, it might seem like that, but that's not really what's happening. It's just the style of the presentation, the way he drew them. That's really all it is.
All right. I can kind of see that because, like I said, I watched 8 to 10 episodes, and I just remember there's kind of two brothers that were beefing and being petty, and I was
Jonathan and
having these weird fights with monsters, and what the hell is going on this show?
Yeah,
but you guys talk me into. I'm gonna pick it up again. I don't think that's when I can start over. I'm gonna just be confused at episode 10. I'm gonna just dive right back in.
Just go for it.
The anime style is very jarring when I first saw it. It's what the fuck is this? Why do these people look so weird? And then it just got weird, and I just went along with it. So yeah.
It's less weird if you watch some of the older stuff before it, if you watch Captain Harlock and
don't tell him that. JayMan already said he don't like shows where he gotta do homework.
No, I'm not saying I'm not saying to watch them. I'm saying if you've seen those animation styles, JoJo's doesn't look as weird to your eye because it is jarring because modern anime doesn't animate the human body the same way. So
All right. Well, man, thanks so much again for coming on, Lamar.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for coming on, Matt, with the
Absolutely.
Birdman.
Yeah.
With the hands, rubbing the hands together.
I'll put some respect on my name out here. What are you doing?
Yeah, we have to.
No,
now.
we will, Mr. All the Gundam.
Motherfucker came into the Roast with Friends podcast with a strategy and killed the draft, man. I ain't mad at it. But yeah, if you made it this far, man, I forgot Chris usually does the begging, so I'm gonna beg this time. Please, baby, please hit us with some likes and some subscribes. Hit us with some ratings, comments, man. Oh fuck, I forgot to do comment of the day.
Damn.
I'm doing comment of the day right now. Shout out to, I forget who said it, man. Damn. Anyway, some random nigga on the internet on TikTok.
Not a random nigga on TikTok.
Random
shout out to the
on
random niggas from TikTok.
I'm gonna shout his name out on the next episode. But we put up a clip of when I was my homegirl Elise. She was on an episode. She had Dragon Ball Z in the background. It's funny, we're doing an anime episode. She had Dragon Ball Z in the background, like the palm trees and shit. I was like joking around. I was like, "What's that behind you, girl? Is that Lake Paris back there?"
Damn.
And then and some dude was, I guess he just scrolling down TikTok. He said, "How the hell did I end up on Lake Paris TikTok?" And I was like, "Your guess is as good as mine, player."
So Matt, Lake Paris is just a janky ass lake.
Yeah, don't
just
go to Lake Paris.
Like you dip in that bitch, you will become a mutant. Like it's just like the Oolongs, wherever that show was, Will Ferrell. Like that's essentially what that's what's gonna happen.
Stay away from Lake Paris, y'all.
He said Lake Paris TikTok, bro. I mean, I wouldn't think about talking about Lake Paris on TikTok either. But okay.
Yeah, and to anybody listening, this is Paris, California, not Paris, France. You know, when he said niggas in Paris, I thought he was talking about Paris, California, because that's all I know is niggas out there.
There ain't nothing niggas out Paris.
Damn.
So I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting little off topic here with that comment of the day, but I had to show some love. Thanks again to Matt for coming on, dropping knowledge. Thank you for Lamar for helping set this up. Appreciate it. Check out their books. Matt, do a quick shameless promotion about your book. Let them know where they can get it again.
Yeah. So The Man Called Dragon is the first in my Darkland series. It's going to be 4 books total in the series. Currently available in paperback and ebook format at all your major online retailers. And if you like Barnes & Noble and getting physical books, you can request the book to be shipped to the store and pick it up in store from your local Barnes & Noble. So again, The Man Called Dragon, first of the Darkland series. And you'll get to meet Lucian Cool, one of definitely a controversial main character for a book series. I'm sure Lamar can attest to how much people are supposed to dislike him, but that's part of the point. So he's not an anti-hero, he's an anti-villain.
Yeah, so I'll just say this. If you're in the stories where you love the main character, this ain't no Marvel shit. Like you are not, he's not Bay. You don't want to be with this man. He's an asshole. But
I mean, some people might. I feel like
there's a lot of damaged motherfuckers out there.
Like his little thing where he goes always never. I feel like they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's so sweet," and it's like y'all missed the point.
It's true. It's true. He's the epitome of like nice guys finish last. Like he's that guy that the nice guys be complaining about because he'll get the woman somehow, but you stand on the sideline like, how the fuck did that happen? But it's a great book. I read it. I vouched for it. I don't like a lot of shit, so if I like it, it's good. You can check out my latest book, Stages. It's a contemporary romance novel. And then in the next year, I will have a contemporary fantasy coming out. I don't have my spiel for it, but just think Mary Poppins meet Coco. So
I love it already. I'll really definitely be copping Matt's book. You guys made it sound interesting, and Lamar, can't wait for the next one. I'll be copping that too, and we got to hang out soon, man. We keep talking about it. We got to figure it out. I got to get that book signed. And Matt, man, we got to hang out sometime too. I want to get my book signed from you as well.
Oh yeah, I definitely got to come out to LA. Come mess with y'all for
where do you live?
I live in Kansas City, like I said, born and raised.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did say that.
I am Mahomes country. I am Chiefs Kingdom.
Oh yeah.
Man, we don't like the Chiefs over here. That's another episode. I'm a 49ers fan. So.
I was trying not to say it.
Trying not to say it, but Man,
it's
that
okay.
fourth quarter hurts. And you know which fourth quarter I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here
better.
before I start
The
to cry
Titans
on
hate
this
us just as
episode.
badly, and so do the Texans. They hate us all for the same reason you do. Of course, the Bills hate us for 13 seconds. So can't tell you.
At least we don't got to see y'all every year. But hopefully we see
Exactly.
y'all this year because that means it's on the calendar for Super Bowl, baby.
Hey, there we go. Let's do it.
But
Run
my
it back.
bad, y'all. We really got off
Yeah, right.
on the tangent there, but man, I love hanging out with these dudes. That was fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in to the Roasted Friends podcast. Make sure you hydrate, and we gone.